Going live. I think we're live.
Okay. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yeah, we're live.
So glad that you have joined us on this new week. We're at November 11th and ready to talk some business, you guys. We've got a lot of things going on. And to start the call, we'd like to really get right into the core value that we're talking about this week. So,
yeah, I just want to say at the top of the call, while it's fresh on my mind, just want to thank a couple people that have been doing some extra work for the team.
Yes.
Tanea Davis, if you guys don't know Tanea, she has been doing a lot of work for the team, and she recently just put a post up. You want to talk about that post?
Yeah, so Tanea put a post up in our Team True Blue group page here, asking for stories. Because here's the deal, you guys, this Facebook Live, it's multifaceted. It's meant to serve many purposes, but we want our team to be a part of it. That's why we've been adding guests on, as you've been seeing. And so we want to do more of that, but a lot of times we're just not really certain of who to reach out to. So help us out in that respect. Tanea created a post and asked, hey, have you had some amazing results? Have you enrolled your first customer or distributor? Have you recently rank advanced, or maybe you were stuck for a little bit and now you've had a surge in business? And so if you'll find that post and comment, we would love to incorporate more people on the call. And we've had some amazing individuals on there, but we want to switch it up. So if you don't, maybe just go through and find that post and see if it's something that applies to you, and then comment so we can include you on some of these Facebook Lives.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through here to see if I could find it real quick. But you can search it out. You'll find it. It's in the first 10 or 15 posts. And what you should do in that post is tag some of your people in your team that kind of fit that description. I don't know why it's not there, but Facebook does weird things sometimes.
And I will tell you guys too, that if we're, there were a couple people that I private messaged. And if we've not messaged before, then you kind of have to go search for those messages. Have you guys had that? I've had people who have messaged me that have never messaged me before, and I find it kind of hard to find in Messenger. Sometimes you don't even notice that there's a little notification there.
Well, if you're not friends with them on Facebook, you can still message them, but very difficult to retrieve from a mobile device. So from a laptop, it's easy. Go in to your messages and you'll see there's a different category there. Otherwise, you got to catch that one notification.
Right.
So if you catch the one notification, then you can click on it and have the conversation.
Yeah. So if you see me say, hey, I'm going to message you, go look for it, because that means that I messaged you.
So find that post and tag the people in your teams in the post that might qualify, or people that you think stories would be great on our Monday calls. So be looking for that. Tanea has also been doing a lot of background behind the scenes stuff for the team. So thank you. Gary Stern's another guy that has just been putting in tons of extra time and graciously sharing a lot of that with the team. And so while I'm thinking about it, he today is going to go in, in the virtual training last week, he did the segment on DMOs, your daily methods of operation, and also took the time to show you guys in Google how to create your own unique digital tracker so that you or your teams can go in and have some amazing reports right at your fingertips of what's happening in your teams. And so for some of the new people, you're like, what is DMO and all this other stuff? Guys, listen, this Facebook Live is for everyone on the team. And so we try to give you content and data that will reach the masses. And so if you don't know what a virtual training is, you need to find out. If you don't know what a DMO is, you kind of already have a DMO. You just don't know what it is. In life, everybody has a DMO in life. It's what you do on a daily basis. Like most of us eat, most of us sleep, so you can check those off. But if you're going to be successful in this side gig, or if you're trying to turn this thing into a full-time gig, you are going to have a plan. And that's all a DMO is, a plan. And so Gary Stern, this afternoon, I just talked to him. He said somewhere around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock today, he's going to go in right here in this group, in our Team True Blue group. in files, and he's going to upload his PDF, his DMO. Why is he doing that? He's been inundated with messages from the team of, I need it, give it to me. So as in true network marketing form, we are always looking for ways to leverage ourselves. And so instead of Gary answering every person individually, he's just going to load it up, and then you all will have it. You just got to go find it inside of files. This morning, we also created a new photo album. I just created it for the templates for rank advancing. And so someone asked for it last week, and I'm like, just go there. And then I went look for it and I couldn't find it. Someone asked again today. I'm like, okay, then I'm just going to go create it. So I did. And we'll be maybe massaging that a little bit, but it's there right now. If you go to photos and then albums, you'll find all the rank advancement templates that you can use with your favorite picture app. However you edit photos, take that photo, grab it, and edit it however you want to edit it, with the pictures and emojis and fireworks and bows and hearts and whatever you want to do there. So there's a lot of other people doing some amazing things, but those two have been contributing quite a bit to the team recently, and you may not know that they have been. So let's talk about core value number 5. It is one of my favorite. They're all my favorites, but this one is one that I think is most responsible, I'm just saying, for our success, in that you're either in two mindsets. You're either in the mindset of there's a problem, or the mindset of I'm working on fixing things. And I just always strip this down to like a life situation. And somehow, because I'm always around the water and love the water, you got to respect the water. And so, if a boat is sinking, the last thing the people on the boat need to know is that it's sinking. We're all pretty aware, like if the water's coming up, we're pretty aware the boat is sinking. What we need, because your life depends on it, is solutions. Like, here's a life jacket, here's some whistles, here's some flares, here's the e-perk for the Coast Guard. We don't need to know the boat sinking. We don't need to know how cold the water is. We don't need to know how deep the water is. We know, but we need to be in solution mode. And so in your business, you are going to have to be in solution mode from beginning to there is no end, because it's what we do. And so whether that's, I've never signed up a new distributor or a customer yet, you need to be in solution mode. And there's always going to be things happening. And one of the things that we have always said that gets you where you want to be is by finding a way to keep paddles in the water. I've said this so many, many, many times, that the paddles have to stay in the water no matter what's going on. Like the paddles, we need to be working towards saving ourselves and survival, not the other way, right? And so all of you have the next level of something you're working towards, and the speed at which you get there has everything to do with how many paddles are in the water. And so it starts with every one of us individually. And that's how we kind of want to change this from the core value to a training. But that's the core value for this week, is you have to be in solution mode in every phase of your business. And no one is going to put their paddle in the water. Okay, if you got a few people on the boat and the boat's sinking, no one, unless you've got a leader on the boat and you're not the leader, is going to look for the life jacket. Like, you need to look first. If you're the captain of the boat, you need to know where the life jackets are. You need to know where the whistles are, the flares are, and all that stuff. And so from a team standpoint, the same thing applies. And so every one of you, if you want to rank advance, it starts with you putting your paddle in the water, and your paddles never come out. If your team sees your paddles out of the water, and it's really obvious, it's really, really, really obvious if your paddles are out of the water, because they'll ask you a question and you don't have the answer. And it's probably a simple question. And it becomes like, oh, they don't know that. That probably means they haven't done that in a while. They haven't rowed the boat in a while. And so we're always learning. And the websites are always changing and the Facebook's always changing. It doesn't mean that you always have to have all the answers for all the things, because it's impossible. However, last week something happened where we were like, you know what? We need to probably address this with the team, because it is something we created months and months and months ago that will help every one of you guys row the boat. So why don't you jump in? Tyler Fobbs from the company called us because the company is actively working right now.
Skylar, by the way, you said Tyler.
Oh my gosh. Why have I been saying that?
I don't know.
I've called him Tyler several times recently instead of Skylar. There are a lot of Tylers and Taylors and Skylers, but my bad, Skylar. I know I won't live that one down for a while, and all my loving friends here probably already messaged you many times. So I'll make it up to you in Arizona this week. Anyway, Skylar is working with the company specifically on systems, because we have an outside trainer that we'll probably name at some point when the company lets us name it, that every one of you know, that's kind of helping LifeVantage with systems and simplifying things for our company. So Skylar, got it, wanted to know about our systems, and I kind of took a deep breath, because it's a subject that we've been a part of for 10 years. It's a subject that I'm really passionate about. And I could talk about systems for hours, because there's so many little nuances to why things work and why they don't. But we had to really strip this thing down and just get to the bare basics for Skylar and say, okay, here's the deal. There's basically only two systems you need to know. You need to have a system to get someone to say yes. So you need a system to get an ID number, customer or distributor. Once they have an ID number, you need a system of duplication, or getting those people so that they can go out and get their own customers and distributors. So there's two systems. There's a system to get an ID number, and there's systems to duplicate, so that there's more ID numbers coming in. And so we took them into teamtrueblue.org. And well, I don't know if you want to jump in on any of this conversation while I share a screen or not, but let me share a screen. And some of you guys may know this and some of you may not. But I want to take you out to the websites. Let me minimize this, and it should be down here somewhere. There's Facebook. Here it is. Okay, so here is teamtrueblue.org, right? And in explaining this to Skylar, there are there's a lot of different philosophies in training and how to handle this. But at the end of the day, what we want is something so simple that all teams are using. As leaders, though, you'll be probably putting your own spin on certain areas of this. But this is our team website. And guys, everyone needs to start somewhere as a distributor. So we created a checklist, and that checklist, as I were explaining this to Skylar, we didn't just develop this on our own. We actually developed this checklist in combination with the helps of 7-figure earners and trainers to 7-figure earners.
Well, here's the important thing, I think, is simplicity is key. Everything has to be incredibly duplicable, because once it gets super complicated, you start to lose people. They almost like get overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, you tend to do nothing, right? And so we tried desperately to put some things together for the team that make it super simple. And some of you may already know a lot of this stuff. In fact, I hope all of you know it. I hope all of you are very familiar with this information that you'll find at trueblue.org or teamtrueblue.org. But if you're not, that's the purpose, and us kind of walking you through some of this, because it is there so that everybody has access to it and can easily duplicate it. But we want to make sure that you know. So that's, yeah, I just wanted to add that. I hope that's okay.
Sure. So without, getting into too much detail about this website and the tools that are available to you, the checklist is something that you want to use. And if there's something that you like for your teams to do in duplication styles, then obviously create your own checklist. Create your own checklist, but remember, paddles in the water, okay? Because if your checklist becomes complicated, or your checklist becomes kind of the way you only want to do things because, well, that's the way you like to do things, then just know that you're opening yourself up to paddles coming out of the water. For instance, your checklist may be really, really only how to do the business on social media. Well, I don't think anybody wants an organization that the entire organization only does social media, because you're missing potentially large groups of people who would love to do this business. They're just intimidated by social media, don't want to use social media. And so make sure that if you're going to provide something for your team, you do it in a way that's always all inclusive, not just your team or the way we do it in this state or this city or this country. It's all inclusive, right? So there's a checklist there, and that checklist is designed to simplify the process. And there's also a video that accompanies the checklist in case you have been enrolled by someone that didn't take you through the checklist or explain it to you. It's there. As well as a bunch of other stuff that you need to be aware of that's on here, guys. For instance, there's social media training right here. Under tools, I don't know if a lot of you guys even know this, but the latest, I get asked all the time for the latest PowerPoints. They're already there, updated just a few weeks ago. The Map to Pro 3, the Map to Pro 5, they're there. And not sure how much you guys are using them, but simply put, it is our systems of duplication. So if you're using these tools and using them on a daily basis, you're familiar with them, your paddles in the water, and then you're obviously able to help your teams keep their paddles in the water by staying in solution mode. Like even the Map to Pro 3 and the Map to Pro 5 were ways for people to understand where maybe there's holes in their organization. Like if you're a Pro 3 and you're not making $588 a month on average, if you're a Pro 3 and you're not averaging $588 a month, then you might want to look at the Map to Pro 3. And there's somewhere in those three levels, either level 1, level 2, or level 3, there's somewhere in there that your organization has missed. And that's why your paycheck isn't what it is. That's why we have those trainings in here. And just so you guys know, if you just click there, Espanol, right? It's the duplicate image of all of this in Spanish. So just thought I would take you guys there to see that. Skylar was like, whoa, that's like the most simple thing I've seen so far. And I'm like, let me just say this. It's because we've been doing this 10 years. Okay, and we did get really complicated and convoluted at times. Like do this, and you gotta do this, you gotta do this. And then we realized that if we are always spoon feeding every individual in our team, then we're gonna always be spoon feeding everybody in our team. And that is not why any of you signed up to be in this business. You signed up in this business to give you more choices and freedom for time, freedom for money. And you must rely on systems to do that, not an individual to do that. And so as a leader, you're always in solution mode. And when things maybe get awry, when the ship seems like there's water coming in and the boat's not going where you want it to go, first thing you need to do is make sure your paddle's in the water, right? Make sure your paddle's in the water, and you always go back to the basics. When sports teams are suffering, when they're losing game after game after game, I think the famous Vince Lombardi used to start every year when training camp would start, he would start by saying, gentlemen, this is a football. Okay. Now they maybe had just won the world championship the year before, and he would start 6 months later by saying, this is a football. He would show them how to tackle. He would show them how to run. And so that's why that checklist is there. That's why invite tool team is in place. That is our system of onboarding. If you're having trouble enrolling, then you need to look back at the simplistic foundation of what we do, invite tool team.
Well, and there are those distributors who have been around and they'll have life happen, and maybe for a period of time where they're not necessarily enrolling, and then they do start enrolling and they go, oh, what do I do again? So it's nice to have kind of a one-stop shop where you can go and find everything you need. And we also know that there's also those people who maybe was enrolled by that person, and now their enroller has life happening, and they're like, well, what about me? I want to be building my business. And so the idea in that website is that it's an easy resource for everyone. And it's simple enough that you don't need someone there to walk you through every step. That was the whole premise behind it. And honestly, the simpler it is, the easier it is to retain.
Yeah. Like,
so
put your paddle in the water, pull. It's pretty simple, right? Paddle in the water, pull. Paddle in the water, pull. You don't need to explain what the paddle's made of. You don't need to explain how deep to put the paddle. People are going to decide that stuff for themselves. Put the paddle in the water, pull. ITT, right? Invite tool team, invite tool team. It's the simplicity of what you do and teach. What you do is so complicated, what you do in front of the room with PowerPoints and presentations is so complicated, no one will get up there. If what you do on social media is so complicated, no one's going to want to even take the time to learn how to do it. Keep it simple, put your paddles in the water, and that will help you guys really nail core value number 5, right? If you want to be in solution mode, stick to the basics, go back to the basics and put your paddles in the water.
And lead with example.
Yep. So next big topic for today to discuss is something going down tomorrow night. It's a Zoom for you. It's a Zoom for your team. But more importantly, it's a Zoom for you to get your customers or potential customers in front of an exciting piece of information that we're going to be sharing with everyone that wants to jump on there. We have space for 500 people. So don't be late. Don't be late to the Zoom. Don't be number 501 because I just can't help you if you're number 501. So make sure you're on the Zoom, ample time, get your spot, tell your people to be on early. We'll probably light that thing up a good 10 minutes early so that you got 10 minutes before 9 p.m. Eastern to get in there. Guys, we've got Dr. Dondi Nettles that's going to be on this Zoom with us. I reached out to him a couple weeks ago. We've been working on a couple things, so he's going to be on. Excited for him to share from his perspective NAD. It's the Zoom tomorrow night is all about NAD and flipping the switch and the importance of what sirtuins are to our body, educating people about sirtuins and our product Protandim NAD. Looking forward to tomorrow night. We've got some stories that we get to share tomorrow night about people that are using it, different ages, different results, different ways to take the product. So it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
And don't you guys, the ones who participated and won the call with Taylor Worry, don't be concerned that that's been forgotten with the NAD call that's happening tomorrow, the Elite Retreat that starts up later this week. It's not been set in stone, the exact time, but it's coming. So just know that we'll be reaching out to you for that as well.
And what's also coming is the end of the month, the Black Friday promotions that I am sure you're going to start hearing stuff about. So what I wanted to emphasize is we can't do anything about Black Friday yet from a promotional and marketing standpoint. However, we can use tomorrow night's Zoom as the springboard for whatever goes down on Black Friday. What do I mean? Get as many people on that Zoom tomorrow as possible, okay? Current customers and some potential customers. And with the goal of gaining new customers, right? Or having some customers that are not using NAD, upgrade to using NAD. That's the point. Having some customers that are not using NAD to use it, having customers that have never used it or potentials to use it. Then once we bring just one more person into your personal business, not your team, your personal business, right? Everybody should have the goal of gaining one more NAD customer tomorrow night. then what happens if we use that new customer on the Black Friday promotion? What if we open that new customer to whatever the company is going to offer us and do for us Black Friday? That is what we're trying to provide for you guys, is a way to springboard and leverage information from one event to the next and databases and networks. So bring on 5 people tomorrow night, and then you can leverage those 5 people's networks for whatever happens later in the month with the company's promotion. So I'm sure they're going to give us some cool stuff, because that's how Darren rolls and that's how our sales department rolls. We're looking forward. We don't have any details yet. I'm sure we'll be discussing that at the Elite Retreat this week. We're looking forward to next Monday being able to bring you guys some information perhaps from the retreat and some things that we can share with the team as well. So you guys have a great day. Anything else you want to add?
Nope. Have a good one, guys. Take
All
care.
Right. Bye-bye.